Getting the recording set up. Oh, I see it recording. Now to just make sure we're actually on Facebook.
We are live on Facebook. It popped up while I was on there. Woohoo!
Yeah. Woo. All right. Ready to rock and roll. Good morning. It's Motivation Mornings with Marnie and Melissa. I'm Melissa Houston, health insurance specialist and financial planner in beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada. And what should I share today? I have nothing. I have nothing to share today. This is my living room. There we go.
Oh, what a lovely living room. Good morning, everyone. I'm Marnie Dangerfield, also here in Victoria, BC. I'm a wellness and intentional creativity coach and garden lover. I'll go with that. I know they've heard it before. I'm saying it again.
Reinforcing it.
Reinforcing. We went on a garden walk yesterday. Feeling the love.
Oh, where? Whereabouts?
Butchart
Oh.
Gardens. Yeah. They're going to be closing for 2 weeks. So,
Oh, that's right. I did recall seeing that news.
yeah.
Oh, getting it all spiffy for spring.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, welcome. I see some people are here watching live. So thank you. Hopefully my comments will come up on my screen. Oh, I don't know why there's that pause now. But anyway, we'll start with our value statement, and then we'll be sharing what's inspiring us this week. I believe Melissa goes first this week for that.
Yes.
And then Melissa's going to be sharing her tips. We'll see what those are, her choice this week. And then we'll be sharing our contact information, the journal prompt, the 2021 news journal prompts. And then we'll be sharing what we're grateful for. And then I'll be rounding us out with the motivational quote this week.
Yay. I'm excited. I love Marnie's quote. All right. Our value statement. Today we gather
in the spirit of possibility,
in support of community,
to encourage holistic well-being,
to empower our authentic selves,
to share appreciation,
to express compassion,
and to enjoy this gift of life. Oh, we got good mornings from Rose and Cindy Lou and Maggie. Yay, good morning.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, good morning. It's so lovely to have you all join us. Oh, did you see my notice reminder this morning, Marnie?
Gosh, usually I do and I didn't. I have my thing right now.
I was just curious because it gave me a good chuckle this morning. I came across the image of a parody book of Goodnight Moon, the children's book. Well, it was called Good Morning Zoom.
Oh, I love it.
Good morning, Zoom. That's what we're doing here.
That's exactly what we're doing. Oh, that's perfect. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So anyways, just came to mind. Oh, okay, so I'm sharing my inspiration first, and I'm taking a little bit of a risk here because my inspiration actually came from you, Marnie, and something you shared. So there's a slight chance you might also say this. So that's the risk. I'm seeing. It would be kind of cool if we both had the same thing one week, but I wanted to share. Marnie had shared on Facebook an amazing podcast episode. It's from On Being, and it is an interview with Catherine May, How Wintering Replenishes. And I saw her post it and I listened to it within the next day or two, and I loved it so much. All about not just winter, the nature season, but also the season in our lives, cycles in our lives, and the value of having that time of going inside and, like it said, replenishing. And just also, I think, getting some perspective of the other parts of our lives. She talked about how it can be challenging, the two extremes, like the high highs and the low lows. So we often say, "Oh yeah, we miss summer," and like the state of like super happiness and joy and excitement, but we can't really sustain that actually for long periods of time, and we need a little bit more balance. So this sort of helps balance that out. But I'm curious if you read the book, Marnie, because the Catherine May had written a book called Wintering that this was, I guess, inspired by, and this podcast episode was inspired by. I mean, and I now want to read the book. I think it'd be wonderful. Marty's busy, so
Sorry about that. It was, I'm so excited because I loved this podcast too, which is why I shared it. And I haven't got the book yet, but it's inspired me to get the book because I loved, of course, the concept of the winter, we have the season of winter and we are connected to it, but also how the wintering can happen in any cycle and rhythm in your life with what you're going through and how to honor that it's kind of a necessary process of that going within. And yeah. So sorry, I was using
and
a new.
she also in the podcast she read a bit from the book, and even just her writing style was so lovely and beautiful. So I'm like, oh my gosh, here's tremendous value in the concept and the ideas she's sharing, but she's also presenting it in a really beautiful way. So I just loved it so much, and I wanted to share it. So thank you, Marty, for introducing that to me.
Yay, I'm so excited. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, yeah, and just listening to her as well, I was like, I may audiobook, even though I know I want to read the book and have it in my hands. It's like her voice was just like, ah.
Yes, it was. She's Irish, I believe, if I'm remembering
I
correctly.
believe so, yeah. It's
She has a
totally.
lovely Irish accent.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, yes. I'm so glad because yeah, I listened. I was like, yeah. So I get excited about podcasts too. Oh, and
And I also listened to the podcast episode you recommended last week, and I really love that one too. So you're just bringing all the value in the podcast world for me.
well, it's like the Brene Brown one you shared last week too. That was amazing. So yeah, we're just we just have a podcast show. Let's just have a show
Podcast
where we share
lovers.
about podcasts. Marnie and Melissa share about motivating podcasts.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I am also going to be sharing a podcast this morning. And I was actually considering that one, so that's so that was going to be. And I also, because of like I mentioned cultivating place, that was one of the episodes I shared last week. She talked about a different podcast this week called Bloom and Grow Radio, which I've never heard of. And so it was like, "Mer? Bloom and Grow Radio? What are you?" So I went to check it out and as I do scrolled through to look at different ones, and one that popped out was called Using Plants to Create Restorative Environments. It's just wonderful. So but I mean, the name tells you what it is, but it's a lovely conversation about yeah, just how our connection with plants and whether we're in a garden or whether we're creating like a restorative space they talked a lot about work desks and the indoor environment and how we can create these restorative spaces. And there was a link to biophilic design for um, how we can create for our senses, even indoors, kind of the calming effects of nature, even if we're not out in nature with the plants, but also, of course, being out in nature and what we can do. So and there's all sorts of studies about linking well-being and plants with our mental and physical well-being. So that I will be sharing in the comments. So yes. That's another. So we're gonna have another couple of podcasts this morning to share with everybody.
Well,
Is
that's
anybody
well
listening to the
within.
podcast?
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I need to. Well, I'm saying need again. I would like to spend some more conscious time with my indoor plants because I don't get outside as often in the winter, and out in nature with the plants. So I feel like I should be just consciously appreciating and caring for my little indoor pals, such as that little
I
guy
was so
over
excited to see yours this morning. I was like, there's a plant.
there. Yeah, let me share. You share plants.
Mm-hmm.
He
Look at
needs a bigger
this.
pot, I think.
So
He's
happy and
lovely.
healthy. Oh, that's a loved plant.
Yeah,
Oh.
love him. So that's so yeah, I'll have to check out that podcast episode for sure. Thank you for sharing, Marnie.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, she started out because she just was killing plants all the time, indoor plants, and she was frustrated. And so she's just been on this journey of how to look at. So there's lots of things on caring for indoor plants and different guests and things like that. But there's a wide range of conversations. So
Cool.
and
Has
if
has
anybody's commenting,
anyone sorry.
I was just going to say, and please feel free to share what's inspiring you this week, and we love to hear it. And I'm sorry if I'm not seeing it. My
Yeah, that's
feed
what I
is,
was curious. I was curious if there had been any comments
yeah, because
popping.
we've got lovely people watching us, so that's awesome and sharing with us this morning. Welcome.
Yes, I have a feeling that they might just not be showing up, so we'll have to look after.
Yeah, so we will always read the comments after. So please know we appreciate you sharing.
We do. All right. Financial wellness tip for today. Um, this I feel like being a little bit of a safety advocate today. I would like to just do a friendly reminder about being careful with people calling or emailing and asking you for your personal and financial information. You have probably heard this cautionary tale before, um, but I keep hearing that they are getting trickier and more sneaky with the way they're going about it. So I just wanted to maybe share one thing that I've heard of that's a newer development that you should be mindful of. I guess what some people are doing, it's hard for me to believe that people do this, but they are hacking into people's emails and social media accounts, and they aren't necessarily doing anything once they get in there. They're just monitoring your communications with people. And so they get to know like the people in your lives, their names, um, what organizations you interact with. And then after they've accumulated some of that knowledge, then they contact you pretending to be someone you know or related to someone you know and asking for money in various ways because of that. So um, because they get to know you really well. It's not just some, like, I think we've all heard of like the older people getting calls with claims of being their grandkids in trouble and they need money to get bailed out of jail or things like that. It's something along those lines. But if they know, say, who you're banking with, they might say, I'm so and so from your bank and there's been suspicious activity and we need you to go to this website to verify if these transactions are legitimate or something like that. So I think the safest course of action is if you are getting a phone call or an email from anyone to them afterwards to verify if that is correct, if that is them actually contacting you, because they and in emails too, they can make it look really legitimate that it's coming from the CRA or a financial institution. Um, just be extra, extra diligent. And I printed off a thing, at least for the CRA, about what they will and won't do. So the CRA might email you a CRA link form or publication when you request one during a call or a meeting with them. But if you receive an email to link you asking you to fill in an online form or an email link to receive a refund. Those are not true. They won't do that. Um, they might ask for financial information such as the name of your bank and its location, but they aren't going to ask for your passport or health card or driver's license. They will never ask for those. They will also never demand immediate payment by Interact, e-transfer, Bitcoin, gift cards. Those are probably more obvious that that would not be happening with the CRA. They would want money normally for payment. But I still hear stories of people this happen. And that's the other thing too. Like, this is more common than I think most people know, because when it happens, and if you do it, if you fall for it, people get really embarrassed and they don't tell people that it's happened to them. So um, if it has happened to you, don't feel bad, because these people are getting very, very tricky, and it has happened to a lot of people. But that's exactly why I wanted to bring it up today, is just be really careful with your money and your financial information, because there are these people out there, unfortunately, who are trying to take advantage of people. So yeah, I might even share the link to the whole list of what the CRA will and won't do, so you can have a look. Because it's just good to know, and just always be on the cautious side when people are calling and asking for that information. They might be legitimate, but it doesn't hurt to double check.
Oh, that is so good, and I mean, it's just so I'm like, "I don't wanna know, but I do wanna know." You know, it's like because they are getting more sophisticated and, even with the numbers and making them look like they're local numbers and such,
Yeah.
so,
Mhm.
um, that's great. Thank you, Melissa. I did not know that about that they can just sort of be watching and then get information on you and then use it to
That's
Ah,
what I've heard has been the latest development in what they're doing. Mhm.
wow.
Make it seem more legitimate when they know people and details about your life that they maybe shouldn't know otherwise.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, that's
Mhm.
great. Rose is saying that they're very careful, but they've received suspicious texts and emails too. So that's
Mm.
good. You're being careful, Rose. Yeah, it's like just
Yeah, excellent. Being careful.
yes. Mm. And the thing is, if they're legitimate people, they'll understand and be supportive of you being careful and diligent.
Oh,
It's
of
like yeah. So it's
course.
kind of like that's a good test. So
Yeah, they aren't going to be upset. Like if you say to them on the phone, okay, I personally don't give out my credit card information by people calling me. I would like to, verify that you are who you say you. They'll be like, oh yeah, we get it.
yeah. And if they're not
If
legit,
they're
they're gonna yeah.
Yeah, if they're not legitimate, then they'll get upset.
It's like, "Bye." Oh. Oh, thank you, Melissa. That's yeah, very helpful. So
Yeah. So now we're gonna move on to contact information. Do do do. Sharing my screen. Here we are. All right, we have our email address, and we mentioned last week, but we'll mention it again. We think it would be very fun if other people wanted to contribute some motivational quotes each week. And to do that, please send us the quote at our email address, motivation.mornings@gmail.com. It can be just the words of the quote, and then we can throw them into an image. But if you want to provide the whole quote image, that would be awesome too. I think it would be really, really cool to see what people submit and what quotes they enjoy. And then you are likely on our Facebook page, but if you are not, please visit us at MM with MM. That's where we have our Facebook Lives, and when we share resources in the webcast, we put them in the comments. So have a look there. And we have our Instagram, motivation_mornings_with_mm. I have reminders popping up on Wednesday mornings. And we are also sharing those motivational quote images. Then we have our YouTube channel. So anyone who isn't able to join us live and likes to get notices of when the recordings have been posted on YouTube, that is the place to go to subscribe and get those notices. All right, we'll continue on to our weekly journaling prompt. So this week we have, what is enough for me? Short question. I think that it could lead to a lot of interesting thoughts, though.
Yeah, that's why I broke out like short question. Yes, but extensive. You could dig into that one for a while.
Yeah, indeed. What is enough for me? Mhm.
Oh,
I don't
that's
think we ask that very often.
yeah. And yeah, to pause and really ponder that. That's thank you. That's be fun to journal on that.
Yeah. All right. Gratitudes.
Oh yeah, I
Ooh.
guess it's me starting with gratitude. And feel free to share in the Cindy Lou saying she loves that journal prompt. Yay! I do too, Cindy Lou. Looking forward to it after this. So you know what? That's my gratitude. Because I forgot what I was gonna say for my gratitude this week. But I am really grateful for this prompt. I thank you. The fact that you came up with this idea to add it to the show in 2021, I think it's a really fun addition. And yeah, each week to just have this like pause right on whatever it is that comes up. So thank you.
You're most welcome. I hope everyone will find it, anyone who journals will find it helpful. I know when I journal, it's nice to have something to just sort of start the ideas flowing.
Yep. And then you never know where it leads. Woohoo.
And my gratitude today, I think I'm going to note the fact that if you look over to my side, you can see that behind my shade is getting lighter out. So I am enjoying the fact that our days are getting a little bit longer and it's a little bit lighter into the evening. Just, yeah, I'm enjoying the fact that light is returning. Yeah,
Yes.
nice feeling.
It really is. And like you say, because it's noticeable now. It's like, oh, look at that. Both morning and night, this extension. It's like, yes, 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 yes. More light. So yeah, I love that. And yeah, feel free to share in the comments if anybody's feeling grateful for something this morning. Help raise the vibe. That would be lovely. We always love to hear and celebrate what we're grateful for. And then so I
Or small.
guess, hmm?
Big or small.
Big or small? Oh yeah, there's no right or wrong with gratitude.
No.
Oh no. Um, I guess we're at that stage.
Marty's quote.
I'm gonna share the quote, the motivation quote for this week. So, oh, great. Rose is saying, I'm grateful for the gift of having my children. Oh, with the heart. I love it.
Grateful for you too, Mom.
I just feeling that love. Oh, Cindy Lou is grateful for her morning meditation.
Ooh,
Yes. Oh, such a good practice.
great way to.
Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. So the quote I chose this week is, our healing is not in the storm or in the whirlwind. It is not in monarchies or aristocracies or democracies, but will be revealed by the still small voice that speaks to the conscience, and the heart, prompting us to a wider and wiser humanity. That's by James Russell Lowell. He wrote that in 1884.
Wow. Canada was still pretty young back then.
So, yeah.
Wonderful. That was beautiful, Marnie. Thank you.
Thank you. just read it, but I was like, oh yes, that reminder to check in with our heart and our conscience, our still small voice. So important.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. Lovely. Ah, well, thank you so much for everyone who has joined us live today and for everyone who's going to be watching the replay. Hope you've found some value, feel a little bit more inspired and motivated for your day. I know I am.
I know. It's like we are.
So have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and we will look forward to seeing you again next week, which is February already. Oh my
We'll be in
gosh.
February.
Wow.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
See you next week.
you. Have a great day.